The British Sikh School is a very special school. This is a school where dreams become a reality for all students and parents. This is a school where our expectations are very high. We want to make sure that every child who comes to the British Sikh School has a future ahead of them. Our resources are going to be out of this world. Our staff are all outstanding teachers. All the national curriculum subjects will be covered.
As people will know, we've got some students who've come from Italy, we've got others who've come from India, so they are already bilingual students, and we're very much tapping into that to enable them to learn their French. And going forward, we're looking to introduce Spanish and Mandarin as well.
Hi, my name is Anita Notter. I'm the Vice Principal at the British Sikh School in Wolverhampton. My role at the school, as well as being the Vice Principal, is the Deputy Safeguarding Lead and Child Protection Officer. The British Sikh School, we opened in September 2015, and we opened with our founding year group, which was Year 7. This year we have expanded that, so we have Year 7 and Year 8. We're based in Wolverhampton, and we're in a temporary accommodation at Parkfields, the old Parkfields building site, but we're now moving to Millfields Road, which is the new tarmac building. We're very excited because we're at the start of a fantastic journey and of a fantastic new build, so we're all involved in that. We are a Sikh ethos school, and our policy is 50% non-Sikh children. Now, we're quite lucky because within our community, in our current Year 7, we have 40% non-Sikh children. So we've got a diverse background of children who, you know, come from different backgrounds, different socio-economical backgrounds, and it's nice to have a mixture of children in our school, you know, who feel comfortable and are very happy to be here. So my role as Deputy Safeguarding Lead predominantly is to make sure that the children are safe. That is one of the key things that is important within the role. And that could be anything from making sure that the building is safe, making sure that their children are safe in class, outside school, and making sure that we have procedures in place for anything that would or foresee for anything that would happen, and how, as a school, how we respond to that. So we have policies, we have flow charts that are given to staff. We make sure there's staff training, governor training, so everybody is aware of what the procedures are within the school for safeguarding. There's several ways, I think, in which we safeguard, not just for the students, but for the parents as well. So we cover that in terms of grooming and social networking under the realm of e-safety. Now, e-safety is covered in the computing curriculum as well as the PSHC curriculum. We've got police that come in and deliver e-safety, but we also look at training parents. So when parents come in, we do e-safety training for them. Like I said, we've covered it for children, and we also cover it for staff. Brilliant. So we make sure that we've covered the main aspects of e-safety. Within e-safety, we make sure that the students know what it is that e-safety entails. You know, things like cyberbullying, online grooming, good use of social networking, you know, and how to be good citizens, social networking citizens. Now, we live in a kind of generation where all the children are, we call them digital citizens, really. And we've got to make sure that they're good digital citizens. And like I said, that's covered through the curriculum. And the advice that I would give to students is basically make sure you know who you're talking to online. Don't talk to strangers, you know, and please don't go and meet them. You know, if you are going to go and meet them, make sure you tell someone or you take somebody with you, because one of the biggest things, you know, about e-safety and social networking is you don't know who's on the other end of the computer. You know, somebody could lie to you and say, oh, I'm a 13-year-old young man or a 13-year-old young lady, but could be a 35-year-old. And I think we and children can be quite naive and sucked into, that feeling of being wanted and cared for. My advice to parents would be, don't be afraid to ask your children who they're talking to. Don't be afraid to monitor their social networking activities. And if they are under the age of 13, you should be checking, because it is illegal under the age of 13 to have a social networking account. Just be open, have good communication with your children, because if they can't talk to you, they're going to talk to someone else. And you'd rather they would talk to you than have that conversation with somebody else. So safeguarding covers different aspects of, say, abuse. So it covers neglect, it covers mental abuse, and it also covers physical abuse. So when you look at mental abuse, it's more emotional abuse, more so. Each one of those have different traits of recognition as to what type of abuse is happening. And I think when you narrow down and look at, for example, physical abuse, you're looking at bruises, you're looking at their change in behaviour, attendance, how they interact with other people, and just generally how they are around school. So at the British Sikh School, we have a place called the Hub. And the Hub is somewhere which we call our safe haven, where a child can come and talk to a member of staff and speak to them about anything. Any kind of safeguarding related issue has always been referred to myself as the designated safeguarding lead. I have 2 deputies who pick up issues as well, and we then discuss them and make the decision whether to refer them to social services or whether to monitor it. Now, if symptoms appear for a specific abuse, what we do is we either monitor the child, okay, we talk to the child, and we make sure that we are satisfied with what's going on. Now, it's very difficult to say what we would do in a certain situation, purely because each case is different, and depending on the case is how we deal with it. So, for example, if you're talking about an abuse case, there's nothing more important, like I said, than a child's safety. So if a child discloses that they are being abused, it is a case of we will contact the local MARF team. Okay, so that's the multi-agency referral team, and social services will come in, a social worker will come. If the police get involved, if need be, they will come and they will interview the child and then take that case forward. And then as a school, our role in that case would be to make sure that child is safe, whether they are in school or outside school. So we can't offer that child confidentiality, because we have to obviously share that information with outside agencies to help them, but we can assure them safety, somebody that they can come and talk to. If we refer back to what we were saying, some children, especially within our community, may find it difficult to talk to their parents, but the fact that they have somebody to talk to within school environment, and they are doing something about it, that is something that is really important. To tell somebody, they need to tell someone, because if they don't put a stop to it, or if they don't tell somebody now, it may continue. And there is no need to be scared, because people are there in place to deal with issues. If there are issues online and, there is buttons on chat rooms that you can report abuse, please use them. If you don't want to do it through those channels, take a print screen of the screen. If you're talking to somebody and they are being abusive, take print screens, save them, call your parents or tell a teacher at school. It's really important that they do those and take those safety precautions. as a school, it's our responsibility to make sure that our children know, about safety and about how they can keep themselves safe, whether that's at home or at school or outside within the community. And I think it's also very important that we take our responsibility seriously in terms of educating the parents, educating the local community. And at the British Sikh School, we do have an open door policy where community, parents, children can come and speak to us about any issues openly, and I think that's really important. But one thing I would say to parents and the bit of advice I'd give to them is that, have those open conversations with your children. Make sure that, you sit them down and you talk to them about things that you may feel uncomfortable about. But having that conversation with your child could stop them from doing something that they will regret in the future. Brushing it under the carpet and not talking about these and not having that open dialogue with your child, could cause issues in the future, and we don't want that, especially within our community.
My name's Manjit Kaur Gariwal. I work at the British Sikh School. I started August 2015, which was a month before the school actually opened, because we opened in September. But the reason I started before was so I could be there for the parents, just to sort of let them know about the school and why we were here, and just to assist parents. A lot of the parents that we took on couldn't speak English very well, so they did need a lot of help. But we've always been there, more of a friend rather than a business manager. But it's been a lovely learning curve, and it's been very nice for me because I'm new to the school environment. So it's been very, very nice for me to get to know the parents. We, at the front desk, we've got an open door policy, so any parent can come and see us at any time. They don't have to book an appointment. They can speak to us in English, or they can speak to us in Punjabi or Hindi. We're there for them any time of the day. Parents have got our mobile phone numbers as well. If they want to speak to us about any concerns, they've got a landline number as well. All children can come to us at any point. We're their friends. We're not there as office staff. We're there as their friends, and we are very, very close to our children. We like them to be able to come to us about anything that they wish to speak to us about. If we feel there's anything at all that doesn't seem right, we report it. We've got 3 designated members of staff, and it's reported straight away. That is our priority. The children are assured that somebody is going to speak to them. We will personally take them to that member of staff, and it is dealt with very, very quickly. Our child needs to be safe. I'm a mother myself, and I wouldn't like it if my child had any issues. I want them to be free to talk to us, and our children are very, very happy to come and speak to us about any issues they have. For my son, I've pretty much said to him he can come to me about anything. Even though I don't overshadow everything he does, I have said to him at any point I will randomly ask to look at things that he's doing on WhatsApp or social media, and he knows that that threat is there, even though I have not instigated it, but he knows it is there. But I'd like to think that I'm more like a friend to him, that he would come to me anyway. I would like parents to open up, because it's such a shame when they haven't got that with their parents. But when the parents haven't got it, I'd like to think that they've got us on the other end, so they can come and speak to ourselves whenever they've got any problems. But to be fair, I'm even open to parents if they feel that there's any safeguarding issues that their children may have and they'd like to discuss it with us. They're more than free to come in and have a chat with us. And to be fair, we do get a lot of Asian parents coming to talk to us just to ask our opinion on whether they think what their children are saying or doing is reasonable. See, with the children here, they're very, very happy children. And if you can see there's any sign of upset, crying, any sort of bruises, or any differences in their behaviour, that's something that we would pull them out, have a chat with them, and then report it straight away. Our children, because we have got a lot of one-to-one, we can spot the signs very, very quickly. Well, I would say don't be scared, because if they feel something isn't right, it probably isn't. They need to come and speak to somebody. They're not doing anything wrong. They need to ask for an adult's opinion on it. And then if they feel that it needs to be reported, it needs to be reported. Please don't be scared. You need to go and speak to somebody. I think as parents, what's more important for them is the child's safety. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks out there, what they're doing is wrong. It isn't wrong. If somebody's doing something that they shouldn't be doing, the parents need to address it. They need to go to the right channels. It's not fair to let their children suffer. Yeah, I think when a child tells you something, I would really say to the parent, believe them, listen to them, because if something sounds outrageous, there is usually some element of truth in there. A child would not make anything like that up. They need to listen and believe what the child is telling them. Well, as a parent, you're there 24/7. You need to be monitoring everything, them walking to school, being at school, walking back, and even when they're out. You need to make sure you know where they are, where they're going, who they're with, what time they'll be back. Because if that child goes missing, you need to report it, or you need to get down there and make sure they are okay. Even though you're not witch hunting, you're not following them, you just need to know that they are safe. And it's very important that a parent knows that. And if your child is having to lie to you, it means there's something wrong. That relationship has broken and you need to mend it. I think that's really important. When your child goes out, you know who they go out with and what type of child that is. If I would make sure that I've got perhaps the child's friends' contact details, their parents' contact details, and just make sure your child only goes out with people that you know, because I think that's very important to know what the other person is like, because they can influence your child a lot, and that's so important. Nobody walks through the doors without us having a DBS and a barred list check. Any volunteers, any staff, or even visitors, we make sure we check their DBS and a photographic identification that's valid. That's paramount. They don't walk through without it. The other thing we've started now is electronic cards, where they've got to swipe their card in order to walk in. If they haven't got that, then a member of staff will escort them into the school and out of the school. Nobody can walk through the school without having full checks done. Okay, I would just say, talk to your children, be their best friend, listen to them, trust them, but also protect them. Give them a bit of freedom, but make sure you know that where they are, what they're doing, and just be there for them.